Joining us now, Cris Collinsworth, owner of Pro Football Focus, great NFL analyst on NBC Sunday Night Football with our buddy Al Michaels. Played for almost a decade at a high level for the Bengals and a former Florida Gator. Always have to throw that love in. Cris, how are you this morning?
Good, Colin. How you doing, man?
By the way, your Gators are going to win about 10, 11 games to bring the whole dang team back this year. You know that, right? It's the best Gator team in about a decade.
I'm ready to see that, although I was a part of the devastation that was the Florida Gators. my junior year, we went 0-10-1. Now, you got to understand, we're at Florida. I thought I could win one game by myself, but we couldn't. And that was Charlie Pell's first ever year down there. Go 8-4 the next year and turn it around. Of course, Spurrier and everybody comes afterwards. But good to have the boys back playing the way they should.
Yeah, Gainesville's a great town, a rockin' city, and I've been there many times. Love it. So let's start with this. Your Pro Football Focus is something I really rely on, especially for like defensive, offensive line play, tight end stuff, blocking. Yeah, I can watch quarterbacks who I like, who I don't. You guys love Baker Mayfield. I didn't. You won the first argument. I won the second. We'll see. Let me start with this, though. I want to ask you a question. I've said if Darnold is average this year, he'll get another year. Gase may get fired, but Sam will get another shot because people like him. He's been mature, and he's a worker. If Baker struggled this year, he's had a lot of missteps. Some think he's kind of childish, and I'm not sure this staff would embrace him for another year. I think it's a make-or-break year for Baker because I do think he has talent. Where do you fall on him, Stefanski, and all that in Cleveland?
You know, I think with Stefanski being in his first year, he's going to get a little extra time. They are doing what I felt like they had to do. When I called their games this year, they were terrible at tackle. I mean, just terrible. I mean, they just literally could not get the edge blocked. And Baker's fairly mobile, and he has the ability to buy some time. But I thought he got off of his game some, and in part because the protection didn't hold up, in part because changing staffs and, the whole thing. But I'm not here to make excuses for him or for anybody else. But I do have to see him. Obviously, getting Jack Conklin is going to help at the right tackle position. I'm going to assume that they're going to get one of these tackles that come off the board in the first round. This is as good a draft for tackles as I've seen in some time. There might be 5 of them in the top 20 in the draft taken. So I think they'll be short up at the tackle position. He'll get the protection he needs. He'll get a good, solid offense. We had Kevin Stefanski as the number 5 play caller in the league this year as far as the play callers and the coordinators. So they're going to get a smart guy there. They're going to get an analytics-driven guy in Kevin Stefanski. So we'll see. This is – I don't know that it's a make-or-break year. But I do think it's an important year.
By the way, I got Tua top of next hour. Where do you guys have Tua ranked in your young quarterbacks coming out this year?
Number 2, obviously, and I believe it or not, I was just sitting there. I was just going over some Jerry Jeudy tape, and I just so you can't help but watch Tua and what he's able to do. To me, he is the entire swing part of this draft. Yeah. Does Washington make some kind of a play? Does somebody try to trade up? Are they willing to go away from Chase Young? Is Detroit willing, obviously, to trade back out of there, or do they so desperately need the cornerback that they stay there and take him? What the hell do the Giants do? I mean, I'm assuming they're going to take one of those tackles, but I have no idea. But I'll say this about Tua after, literally just turning the tape off. I think he has great feet. You know how great quarterbacks can put themselves in position to throw the ball from odd angles and being able to do that. Well, he can do that. I don't think he has that kind of arm strength. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not one of those kind of guys. But his ability to adjust his feet and put himself in position to throw is already, today, assuming that hip is okay, will be one of the top 3 or 4 in all the National Football League. So I like him. I think he is going to be the guy, whoever falls in love, whoever moves up in the top 5, he's the swing guy here.
Joe Burrow, my comp is Tony Romo. Good arm, not special. Athlete, aggressive, will make some mistakes, but will take chances. I worry about that O-line and that division with all those good defensive fronts. My comp is Tony Romo. Who do you see with Burrow?
Tony Romo's not a bad one. He can move around. He can do some things. I just think that he has, he has some leadership thing to him that when I watch him play, you just feel this bit of a swagger and this leadership. And I think maybe the easy thing to do is go, yeah, I would too if I had those receivers and that offensive line and the team that they had put together in LSU. Let's see what he does when he comes and he plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. But I'm really confident that the Bengals are going to take him. I don't think they're even going to greatly entertain offers for him. Mike Brown has been a guy, and personally I'm of the same ilk that either you have one of those top guys or you don't. And Tua may be one of those guys, but we don't know coming off the injury and where that stands. And if you're going to go for one of those guys, it almost has to be Joe Burrow here. So I think the Bengals stay put and take him.
Yeah, he's an Ohio kid. He had an all-time year. I get it. I mean, I can be critical of the Bengals and their history, but I get it. He's the guy to take. There's two players in this draft I can't see failing. I can't see Chase Young failing, and I can't see Jerry Jeudy failing. They're Alabama receiver. I'm not saying there won't be 40 great players. Those guys, even with bad coaching, bad environment, they would just succeed. And there's about Patrick Willis, when he played at Ole Miss, was that kind of player to me. When he came into the NFL, I was like, okay, he's just going to work. Regardless of how good his position coach is or the scheme, he'll work. Are there a couple guys in this draft to you that are, there's no chance to struggle? They are going to make an impact immediately and be great for years, barring an injury.
I sort of feel the same way about CeeDee Lamb. I think that CeeDee Lamb is one of those guys that I love watching him after the catch. I mean, it was amazing. I almost, my fingers were getting sore typing up all the massive plays that he was accumulating, and not so much before the catch with the route or whatever, but with the run after the catch. I mean, he just kind of blew me away. I've got to tell you, I think that this list of 5 tackles here that I have, the Tristan Wirfs and the Josh Jones and the Jedrick Wills and maybe the number one guy, Andrew Thomas out of Georgia, are all going to fall into pretty much some of that kind of same category here. The pass rushers, I think, are a bit of a bit of a mystery after you get past Chase Young on the front end. Isaiah Simmons can do so many things. Kind of hard to believe he's going to have a bad career.
Yeah.
Derek Brown's not the pass rusher that maybe you're looking for if you're looking for that superstar player, but I don't think he could be a bad player.
Right.
No matter what you put into him. Jeffrey Okudah. And I've got some strange takes, to be honest with you, on some of these cornerbacks. We'll get into some of that on our PFF draft show night and be able to do it. But I've kind of got mine almost upside down. I'll give you one. A.J. Terrell. Terrell Owens messed it up for everybody for the rest of my life. I never know how to say that name anymore. But the Clemson cornerback, yeah, he got torched in the national championship game. I get it. But if you can set aside 3 plays in that game, this kid looks like Mike Haynes, the great Hall of Fame cornerback, and what he could do. So, yeah, there's some guys that I think are sort of, I don't want to say can't miss, but the 2 you named are pretty darn good.
All right, Cris Collinsworth, by the way, they have a 1,000-plus page PFF NFL draft guide is live. Go to PFF.com, promo code SCORE20 to get 20% off a PFF subscription. Folks, you're at home. This stuff is great. I'm a follower. Go to PFF.com, promo code SCORE20. Cris, you're a credit to the broadcasting industry. You're a great dude. 15-time Sports Emmy winner. Thanks for coming on.
You got it, Colin. Just let me know, buddy.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.